over the last couple of years. Lost last time out, but a couple of big wins during Coach Barnes' tenure, including an NIT victory. They'll try and recapture some of that magic tonight.
Yeah, they've won 2 of the last 3 times they've played. Coach Barnes and I talked about that today, but this is a whole different ball game. He's got a lot of respect for Cal's squad coming in. And
we are underway between Cal and Cal State Bakersfield. Right out of the gate, Stojakovic drills it from 3.
Well, how's that for confidence? He made us look good, didn't he, Craig? We highlighted him, and he came out and knocked down his first jumper as a Golden Bear.
Making the move across the bay. Doesn't happen often from Stanford to Cal. And able to bury the triple right out of the gates. Now we'll see our first look here at Cal State Bakersfield. Out of the Big West. They'll look to go inside. Shot clock to 4. Mark on the pull-up. That comes up short. And they'll say last touch off of Cal State Bakersfield. Here's a look at the starters for Mark Madsen and Cal. Again, with all these changes, this is tonight's starting lineup, but still putting the pieces together. We mentioned Stojakovic and Sissoko. Joshua Ola Joseph, a high flyer. They really like what Jovan Blackshear brings, the Oakland native, as he's worked his way back from injury. A lengthy run at Grand Canyon. Meanwhile, Bakersfield looking to turn the corner on the other end, knocked away. Here's a look at their starting 5. You'll hear the name Marvin McGee quite a bit. There's Marvin McGee III here in the starting lineup. You may also see his younger brother, Marvin McGee IV. And then watch out for the big man, the CSUN transfer, Fidelis Okereke. Coach Barnes also trying to figure out his group. Does bring back 4 starters from last season, and that was a beautiful drive there. Corey Stevenson out of Alabama in his second year with the program. They like the development he's shown in the offseason.
A lot of newcomers, Greg, and unprecedented, really. 11 newcomers, 10 transfers. You don't see that very often.
Stojakovic right to the bucket, showed us the outside, shows us the inside. He's got a quick 5.
Well, he can do that, and the outside shot sets up the drive, and that's really something he's added, an element to his game.
Kadar Waller from Bakersfield. Here's McGee III, probing that defense, running out of real estate, and the giveaway. Stojakovic, he's on the move, and he'll wait for reinforcements. DJ Campbell will transfer from Western Carolina. Now inside to the big man. Here's a look at Stojakovic from the outside.
Can't see guys standing up right and blocking the whole basket here. He shouldn't be here.
Stojakovic off the inbound, just rattles out. The fans here at Hospital Pavilion, they were ready to erupt there as the newcomer was looking for another triple. Waller now. 5-2 start for the Bears. Making the move from the Pac-12 to the ACC, their first game. Stevenson lost control. Shot clock to 5. McGee III, the pull-up. That's pure from beyond the arc, and Cal State Bakersfield trying to settle in here. They've knotted things up at 5 early.
Well, you got to be able to hit some of those shots late clock. Good players can do it. That's a tough shot.
Blackshear now, a veteran. Worked his way back, as you mentioned earlier, from injury with Grand Canyon. Was a WAC preseason player of the year. Suffered an injury. Was able to play last year more in a 6th-man role. And then coming back to his home area from Oakland here, joining the Bears. Waller, the pull-up. Not this time. And out of the pack, here comes Ola Joseph. Blackshear now. Showing off the handles. And that one's deflected.
Well, he can do that, Greg. Blackshear is a veteran from Grand Canyon, and he really attacks, has a great handle, comes off screens really tight, but really good in transition, very dangerous.
Talked about his experience. He's the 7th oldest player in NCAA Division I this year. Able to get the medical hardship waiver to get this extra year of college basketball. It'll be to the benefit of the Bears. That's what they're hoping. Blackshear controlling. Step back, pull up. Ola Joseph battling under the glass, and will go the other way. And that'll be the first foul. It'll go against Ola Joseph. So look there at Coach Mark Madsen. His positivity downright infectious, talking about this group so high and all the guys they've brought in. Jamel Jones on now, a newcomer. And absolutely fill it up. Shot clock to 10. Looking for his shot early, nothing available. Stevenson, difficult move there. And the rebound corralled by Blackshear. Here come the Bears. Blackshear thought about it. Ola Joseph now powering to the bucket, and he'll draw contact. Free throws coming for the man they call J.O.J. A 5-5 start here in Berkeley.
Screens, and my guys swore they were double screens, and he didn't give you any offensive rebounds. I think the only thing he couldn't do is shoot free throws. He was an amazing player, and brought his team, as many people remember, to a Final Four. That's saying something.
The Mad Dog, his playing days, picked up that nickname way back in the 5th grade. He's from the East Bay, a return home for him to coach this squad. Talked about the group of guys, and after the turnover last year, said a focus in the offseason. We want to have guys that have time left. So either we're recruiting freshmen that have obviously their entire college career, or we're into the portal and we're getting guys that have years remaining so that we can really build a foundation.
Well, and that's sound, Greg. As a coach, the landscape's changed, but you got to change with it. And I think Mark and his staff have done an excellent job of doing that.
A couple of free throws from Ola Joseph. The Bears in front 7-5. Here is Jamel Jones, the South Suburban College transfer, year 1 with Bakersfield. Right in the middle of everything, Ola Joseph.
I've been impressed early. I know it's early in the game, but they're making it very difficult for Bakersfield to get good-looking shots. And every shot's been a struggle, so that's a credit to their defense.
Blackshear now. Gives off there to Campbell. Around to Ola Joseph for 3. So a couple of misses there from deep here for the Bears after Stojakovic opened things up with the triple. No field goals for Cal over the last 3:32. Meanwhile, the Roadrunners firing and hitting from the corner. It's C.J. Hardy.
That's a tough shot. He was challenged in that shot. Cal's been, again, doing a good job, but those are tough shots. You got to get a hand up early.
Hardy, well-traveled, San Francisco City College, West LA College. Now in Bakersfield, Ola Joseph drops the hammer. Flying baseline.
How about the look from Blackshear, the no-look pass, the dime. I hope we get a chance to see that one again.
You check out any of the preseason footage on Cal social media, an offensive foul against Bakersfield. It was a lot of this, Coach.
Hey, well, look at Blackshear, a ball and string, and he just fires his teammate backdoor for a jam. I mean, if you're playing with Blackshear, you've got to just keep your eyes on the prize, because he's going to get you the basketball.
And this is where having that experience, playing at a high level, that Grand Canyon team, they had a great NCAA tourney run during Blackshear's tenure. That translates well when you try to bring a group of new guys together. Here he is.
Well, and you set the table for him there, Greg, but there's no substitute for experience. You can see the confidence level. He's been there before. There's no, there's no waiting, watching and waiting. You know what to do because you've been in their shoes and you've played before on a big stage.
Marvin McGee, the 4th, is on. Here's Waller now. Shot clock to 10. Big man Shakir Odenugwu from 3. Banks it in. The bank is open for the redshirt sophomore from Cairo.
Well, Cal did a good job of downing the screen, forcing it to the baseline. Big guy did what he was supposed to do, step out more as a passer, but he does knock the shot down. He can do that.
Coach Barnes talked about that. He's a big, he can step out, showed it there. Stojakovic can pull. Omot battling. And here come the Roadrunners. Jones right down Main Street. That is pinned on the glass, denied. Dort takes it away in transition and a foul.
Well, I like Cal in transition. They've got guys that can block shots. You can see it here. They get to the rim, but they challenge. I mean, they got 2 guys. You're going over 4 hands and about a 7-foot wingspan, and that's what enables Cal to get going in transition in the other direction.
There's a look at one of the many new additions, Lee Dort from Vanderbilt. 2 years with Vandy.
And I like what he brings them. He's going to be a real energy guy off the bench. He's strong. He's 6'10", but he's active. And he's going to make it very tough for opposing teams to get to the rim. That's what he can do.
Christian Tucker checking in. UT San Antonio, his last stop. We'll update you as we go here. A lot of new faces, where they were last and now here in Berkeley.
Well, here's a quality guy. Christian Tucker, if you've never seen him play, was an outstanding player for UT San Antonio. I got a chance to see him, cover him last year. I mean, he's good. And here's a guy, a veteran guy like that, coming off the bench for Mark Madsen. What a luxury.
Stojakovic checks out. He's got 7. Another new face, Rytis Petraitis. He was an offensive engine for Air Force over the last couple of years. Now here with the Bears. Coming up on the 12-minute mark, first half. Jones. Nice little pull-up, gets the friendly roll. Jamel Jones looking to get activated early.
He's good in the mid-range game. He can do that. He did it today. He works on that in his game and shoot around. He's really, he takes what the defense gives him. Very good for young players to see that.
Averaged 33.6 points a game last year. Bears shrug it off, right back to work. It's Omot coming over from North Dakota after 2 seasons. B.J. Omot drills the triple. Mark, the air ball. Such a filling out process, Coach, for both of these teams. A lot of new personnel looking to establish rotations, lineups.
Well, I like Rod Barnes' squad, too. He's got some new guys that can play. They're competitors, and they're going to be very competitive in the Big West, I can tell you that.
Kick out. This one doesn't go. Petraitis fingertips on it. And now Bakersfield looking to run. That is denied. Omot says, oh no.
That's a 3-point party for Cal early. They're able to knock down shots. Omot with the corner 3, and then there's the block party. Get ready, here it is to the rim. Get that out of here. Nice job by the Bears. If you asked, was Cal a good shooting team, and you might look at percentages. They have guys that can score it, but unless you're putting them in the games, you're not doing yourself any favors. I think this Cal team can shoot it if they get in rhythm and take good shots. They've got guys that can knock it down.
Roadrunners shooting it well, 3 for 3 from 3. That's their first miss from long range. A near giveaway there. Here's McGee now. And traffic a strip. Bears on the break. All the way to the hoop. Tucker skying. Petraitis the follow. And it looks as if we'll stay down that end. Good recovery there from Cal State Bakersfield.
Yeah, they did a good job because Cal had numbers, but they never quit on the play. If you watch Rod Barnes' teams, you're going to see them hustle. They get after it.
Petraitis Finding Tucker. Omot goes up big and is fouled. Actually, make that Dort, excuse me. That was Lee Dort going hard to the basket.
He had one thing in mind. He wanted to do a Dunkin' Donut. I mean, he was, look at this. He gets there, and he sizes it up. He wanted to go on a highlight reel. But he's a strong kid, and you know, he's not afraid to attack the rim. That's going to be, again, good for Cal because they've got some guys that can carve out space underneath.
The foul there on Corey Stevenson.
Well, and that'll help their three-point range. You get guys that can score on the block, Greg, and you're going to all of a sudden your three-point percentage goes up. Now he's going to have to work a little bit on the free throw line. But, you know, give me a guy that gets the line and can establish, maybe get your team in the bonus. He can do that. Cal's got a number of guys that can go on deep, in deep position and score down there.
Huge to develop that inside-outside game, and Madsen raved about the depth. That was one of the big differences he thought this year. They just had about 10, 11 guys they could use on any given night.
You know, if you look at the roster, you've got guys who are used to being, you know, maybe the top guy in their team, and now they're giving up their role just to be more of a role player. But he's really got some guys that can extend and play significant minutes if they have to. And so I like that you can go deep and you can play a little harder. Don't worry about foul trouble. Don't rest.
A whistle here. Petritis on the bump as Corey Stevenson was trying to turn the corner.
You know, that's the hardest thing to do, Greg, in college basketball and really at any level. Just contain the ball. You're one-on-one right now. That's why so many teams drive it. They put it down. They isolate. But you got to move your feet. You're not going to get a lot of help sometimes.
Jones, he's been looking for his opportunities and finds one here. Jamel Jones able to hit on the pull-up. And Bakersfield, they've shot the basketball pretty well. We mentioned all the makes from downtown. Jones able to hit there. Even though the momentum might give you the idea the Bears should be bigger.
Well, that's what we said coming out of the timeout. We both discussed that, but Bakersfield's really hanging tough, and you got to be impressed with their effort. But Cal's, you know, showing that they can play both sides of the ball. They're getting good looks at the basket, but they're also defending pretty well.
Under 10 to play, first half. Jones aiming for more, to no avail. Here's Omot. These two teams identical records a year ago, 13 and 19. Wilkinson. And controlled there by Jones. Jeremiah Wilkinson, you mentioned all of those scholarship athletes that are new to the Bears this year. He's the only freshman, the rest coming from the transfer portal. Petritis standing in and taking a charge.
That's a great job defensively. I thought there was a double dribble before the charge, but you can see the lead arm pushing off. Excellent call by the officials. And again, Cal doing a good job. That time, Petritis doing a better job defensively, moving his feet. Got called for the foul the previous play, but adjusted. Good job.
That's the second there on Stevenson. 5th team foul on the Roadrunners here in the first half. Omot got all the way through, just couldn't finish, but will stay right here on the deflection.
You see that Cal's really got the ability, Greg, to get to the rim either by the drive or by the post up. They're not afraid to attack the basket, and it wouldn't surprise me if they start getting to the free throw line to go along with that aggression.
So far, so good from the free throw line for the Bears, 6 for 6. Bakersfield has yet to attempt any free throws, so Cal chipping away in that category already. That's the balance they're striving for.
They're drawing fouls. That's a coach's dream.
Wilkinson fading there. Petritis just in the middle of everything right now, hustling, fighting for loose balls.
Yeah, that's how he plays. You know, Aretas is a guy that's going to be around the ball. He's got a nose for the basketball, not afraid to mix it up, and really can do a lot of things well. He's going to be a tremendous player for Cal this year.
Petritis, a big scorer for Air Force. We mentioned 15.7 points per game last year as he takes a seat.
All these substitutions, Greg, I just used to go zone sometimes. I got tired of matching up, or I'd call the officials over and say, let's get a matchup. Let's get a scrum matchup. It's too hard.
Wilkinson draws a crowd. Good kick. Omot there fighting for the loose ball, and now they can regroup with DJ Campbell. Contact there in the paint. Sissoko was trying to battle through. The foul will go against Bakersfield.
Well, Cal's doing a good job putting the body on people's screening. A lot of people don't really set the screen. They slip it, they roll out. But Cal's got guys that aren't afraid to get shoulder length. The guy, obviously, if you looked at Mark Madsen play, I mean, when he set a screen, your body felt it for not just the game, maybe a couple of days later. And that's what they do. They screen extremely well. 17
fouls now, so we're into the 1-and-1 here. And here's Mady Sissoko, Michigan State transfer. No good on the first. You mentioned Madsen as a player. Petrides' dad played against Madsen back in the day. He was at Oregon State and described him in a similar fashion, just the physical presence.
It left a mark on you, not just emotionally, physically. You knew you were in a game.
Alexander digging in with the shoulder. Loose ball, Hardy, the beneficiary. Off the mark. Campbell now. The handles, the step back. It's all there for DJ Campbell.
That's just a great individual move, creating space off the dribble.
Bears building a bit of a cushion here, 23-15. Roadrunners in a drought. Just one for their last 7. 15 thanks in part to Andrej Stojakovic making the move over from Stanford. He had no shortage of suitors, Coach.
No, he was a big-time recruit for Cal, and what an opportunity he has here. He's found a home here in Berkeley, there's no doubt. You know, he had a solid year at Stanford, but as I mentioned, I think his best years are ahead of him, and he really feels happy. You could see when he practiced yesterday, I mean, he had a big smile on his face. He's happy to be in Berkeley.
Enjoyed the process with Coach Madsen, the transparent nature of what this Cal roster would look like. Madsen said he went over to the house, did the whole film breakdown, and really had a hands-on approach to trying to get Stojakovic here to the
Well, you know, families in Sacramento, so that doesn't hurt.
Sure.
You're able to be a little closer to home, but, you know, an opportunity to play in a good league, and he's familiar with some of the teams, and so I think it's a great chance for him to step up.
Already off the foot. Blackshear now, navigating and pulling. There's Stojakovic with Stevenson in the battle, and they'll jump it up. And the arrow will send us the other way. If that name sounds familiar, NBA fans will recognize Peja Stojakovic, 3-time All-Star, of course, a stellar career. Could he ever shoot it?
Well, people don't realize, I mean, he won a world championship. Wherever he went, he helped his team become better and competed. I mean, knocked down shots, just competed all the time. And he had a very storied career. And his jersey's hanging in the rafters at Sacramento. Let's not forget that. So really a joy to watch him play during his career. And he's really happy now. He's able to watch his son play. Had a chance to talk to him at practice, and he's excited.
Excellent run with the Kings. Won a title with the Mavericks. Into the backcourt. Whistle.
You know, it's tough sometimes. You know, you're the son of a very famous player, and a lot of times that puts pressure on, but it's really interesting to watch. And I had a chance to coach 2 guys that played for Jamal Wilkes' sons, Omar and obviously Jamal's son, Jordan. And, you know, Jamal was the same way. He doesn't put pressure on his son. I think that's when players have an opportunity to get better. You already know who your father is, but his career is his career. Now it's your turn.
Jones in the pull-up, counted and one.
Good look. I'll tell you, you know, if you're looking at the ability that Cal State Bakersfield has, one thing their team does well, and their coaches work on this, they really get by their defender, and they don't overextend. Of course, you're going to get in trouble against Cal, but they take the mid-range shot, and they're able to hit that shot. It's just a really good shot to learn how to master, but you got to work on it.
Rob Barnes talked earlier today about Jones, and They were looking for someone to bring offense. Their big gun last year, Caleb Higgins, moving on. He was an 1,000-point scorer. Tavian Cullum, Cameron Smith, Travis Hensel, all these guys that scored a lot of points for Bakersfield departing. So Jamel Jones is a guy who can bring that level of offense. He can fill it up.
Well, and he empowers his players. He really, he's tough on his players, but he empowers them to play once he coaches them and gives them opportunities, and you can see the confidence they play with.
So 7 points early here for Jones. Stojakovic put him in the spin cycle and one.
How about Stojakovic? I mean, he can shoot the basketball, but at his size, 6'7", he shows it to you. Shows and goes. I mean, that's just great footwork and the ability to take something, go over a shorter defender. He'll have that chance this year. And the number of practices I've seen the coaches working with him on just going over shorter defenders. He'll have guys that will defend him that he's clearly taller than and has more range over the top of him.
And he's the first to double figures in this one. He's got 10. That was one of the appealing things about coming to Cal, showcasing all of the abilities here with the Bears. You were talking earlier about playing in college. Your dad was a famous player. How challenging is it from the coaching perspective to navigate when you know there's a father out there that really knows the game?
Well, especially a Hall of Fame father like Jamal Wilkes or in this case Stojakovic. But those guys are class guys. They allow me to coach. They're allowing Mark Madsen to coach. They're not going to get in the way. They're just going to be there to support their sons, and that's really I think the way to go.
Of course, Coach Madsen, no shortage of good experience in his time with the Lakers. What a battle. Meanwhile, the big man, they call him Shaq, Odanuwu, just shedding defenders and powers that home.
That's a good look inside. That's a strong young man. Had a chance to speak with him at shoot around today. Really, a guy that can score inside, but as you mentioned, he can knock down shots too. He's going to be a solid player for the Bakersfield squad this year.
Can't finish off a three-point play. That was the 6th team foul on the Bears, by the way. So next one is sending the Roadrunners to the free throw line. Stojakovic, meanwhile. How did that pass get through? Ola Joseph. Blackshear. Head up always. Wilkinson into traffic, and they'll say last touch off of Bakersfield.
A good job by the Bears finding open people. Sometimes players got to take what the defense gives you, but this was an unselfish possession. Sometimes you want your players just to be a little more selfish. Take the shot that the defense gives you. Don't try to create, but you applaud that. You like guys that can do that. I think did he step over? No.
Ruling it was tipped there. It was Cameron Clark. He's in at 6'10", long arms, and was able to deflect that ball out on the pass attempt by Ola Joseph, so they'll do it again.
Well, he's got to step back a little bit when you've got a big guy on you.
Blackshear, one-on-one, crafty with the left.
Smallest player on the court, plays big there. He gets to the rim, uses his offhand, very crafty. Really tough to defend with his ball handling capabilities.
5 points for Jovan Blackshear. Marvin McGee III. Here's Waller. Now Jones. He's got the green light, Coach.
Well, and he does, and he's again taking what the defense has given him. He's not trying to get all the way, but he just knocks that shot down from mid-range, and I'm impressed with their ability to score.
Blackshear. Deflected. We play on. Down low. Sissoko bodies up and hits.
Yeah, they've got guys in the paint. I mean, if you're playing against the Bears this year, you're going to have to defend from the inside out because they can attack the rim on you.
Maudy Sissoko, 6'9", 240. You're not going to get him out of position easily. And the Michigan State transfer battling for the bucket. We're back after this. Coach, we're getting a good look at some of those pieces that had Cal fans excited when you looked at the roster heading into this season. Sissoko battling inside, Stojakovic doing a bit of everything, Blackshear facilitating.
No, it's just not a one-man show. I know a lot of times last year everybody, knew pretty much who the scorers were, and for good reason. They had a pro in Jalen, and Jalen Taysom. So what they've been able to do this year early, and it is early, they've shown a number of guys that can, when the opportunity is there, score if they need to. So it's nice to be able to push a lot of different buttons, but I think depth's going to be a real strength for this Cal Bear team this year.
Jones continues. He is starting to heat up.
But he's letting everybody know, too, that shake, that head shimmy, that shake, like nobody, you can't guard me. And right now, the Cal's having a tough time guarding.
11 points for the Chicago native. Hustling, Petritis, Clark on the ground, will jump it up, and the arrow will keep things here.
Well, that shows you there's Petritis getting an extra possession for the Bears. He made something out of nothing, because that ball was clearly, looks like it was going to be a Bakersfield ball, but he just got on the floor and kept it alive.
That's one that Cameron Clark would like to have back. It was in the grasp.
Well, you got to grab it. You don't tip it when you got to put two hands on the ball.
Stevenson there. Good effort thwarting that inbound attempt. And we'll see Okereke return and Odonuwu check out. Some good minutes there for Odonuwu. 5 points, 2 rebounds. Petritis.
Another good look by Blackshear, getting his teammate an open look.
The consummate point guard there, right? Just head up, looking to get his teammate involved, and there's Petritis again.
Yeah, Rytis Petritis again, just off the ball. Greg does what he does. He just affects the game. He's a pest. I mean, he's a guy, you don't want to play against. You want him on your team because he makes it difficult for his opponents. Great play by Rytis Petritis.
We'll take a quick timeout. 30-24 Bears.
To the stomach, no question, and they're the officials are there and they're right on it. They say, look, if that's going beyond the call of duty here and putting your hand in somebody's solar plexus, you're going to get the call. The reason I say I was a little surprised is I do think Petritis has a career after basketball. I think he could get down in Hollywood if he wanted to. I mean, he sold that pretty good.
Think he's working on his SAG card, perhaps?
I think so.
He 2 more credits and then
a couple more, but that's what he does. Rytis Petritis is a guy that will get in your way. He's going to, there's only so much real estate out there. He's going to take it. He's going to establish himself. So you got to know that. Playing against some scouting will tell you that he's going to, he's going to be a pest. And you can't lose your cool. You can't initiate contacts with both hands. A shove you're going to get away with. An elbow, no, and 2 hands clearly, probably not. So I think officials were right on that. And plus, they don't want the game to get out of hand. And so that's why officials are taught to make that call.
So the flagrant upgrade there on Clark. It meant 2 free throws. Petritis hit them both and the ball for Cal. In front now 32-24, but they won't get much further as they commit an offensive foul.
Well, I like the ball movement. They're really moving the basketball. A lot of dribble weaves, handoffs, side to side. But again, the screens, you have to be set, and there's a danger when the ball's moving so fast. You've got to let your teammate come to you. You can't go out there and attack and come to them and move.
Jones has been the guy so far for Bakersfield. Unselfish, and with the slam down low, it's Okereke.
Well, that's an absolutely great look, and you can see now that Bakersfield's got some little confidence coming out of that last timeout. Rod Barnes got his guys together.
Hesitation, a denial there on Blackshear.
And there's a lot of enthusiasm. You can see here's the drive, and big fella to the rim. Great job of presenting yourself. You see, he squared his body so he didn't have to whirl around. He was already squared. He could take it right up. Great job.
I told you about the size of Sissoko. Okereke, a big boy as well, as Blackshear is good from 3.
Well, I've seen Blackshear practice a number of times this year, and this is probably as well as he shot it. He's capable, there's no question, but he's shooting with confidence.
He's the WAC Freshman of the Year, 3-time All-WAC team. That injury slowed him down. But looking like his old self here. Tucker now on the move. Blackshear, step back, another. Stojakovic there. Trying to walk the tightrope in front of the Roadrunner bench. He does. And Cal can regroup.
Short clock.
Blackshear, the Euro. Pretty stuff.
Hey, that's a dance step. That's a dance step I haven't seen yet. That was a 1-2 skidoo. How about Jovan Blackshear with the step through? That's the shortest Euro step I've ever seen.
I like the 1-2 skidoo better. From 3 on this end, and we'll get an offensive against Bakersfield, extending the leg on that 3-point try.
Well, watch this. Here's the step through, the little step off foot, and just knock it down. I mean, that's balance. He's got to be happy right now, Pedro and his wife, watching the game here. You know, really coming down from Sacramento. It's a short drive down the road, late start. But, you know, those NBA games used to go pretty late, if I'm not mistaken.
Cal in front 37-26. Keep in mind, too, just 4 of 16 from downtown. So they continue to take the 3 ball to look to up that percentage. But making the hustle plays, out rebounding Bakersfield as well, 18-15 currently. Tucker, defense, opens the door, but then as he gets to the basket, it's a major stuff by Okereke. On the other end, and 1 for Corey Stevenson.
How about Bakersfield returning the favor with the Euro? Everybody's got the Euro down. And that's been such a good move. And I'd love to talk to Pedro about that, because I know he came up and his cohorts did that. His guys that he played with. But that's just a real advantage when you can get in transition, change directions almost in the air, and get grounded. I really like it. I mean, it used to be you take the 2-foot jump stop. That's almost gone out of the window now. Now it's the Euro step, and for good reason.
Blackshear draws a crowd. Omot left alone. The hustle there from Sissoko. Try it again, Omot. He's knocked down, and a foul.
Well, you mentioned Greg Cal, taking a volume of threes and not hitting a hard volume. But you know what I like is when you shoot threes after moving the basketball and you've got great offensive rebounders, that's not a bad strategy, because you can go get, how many times has Cal kept the ball alive offensively on tip outs or offensive rebounds? So that's something, if you got a good team that can do that, shooting threes doesn't hurt you.
Omot good on the first 10 offensive rebounds for the Bears. And how many of those looks, by the way, have been wide open? It's been via great passes. They just haven't knocked them all down.
Well, they will. As the time goes on, as the season goes on, we're early. We're almost just out of October. So do you want your shots to go down now, or how about in December and January and February as you get a little closer to your conference? And that'll happen. But they're getting great looks because of ball movement, offensive rebounds, second chance opportunities, and really pretty good point guard play. Guys that can get the ball to their shooters in a position to score.
Madsen said earlier today, if fans left with one thing they could admire about the Bears, it'd be how hard they played. When you think back to your openers, what were you looking for on night 1?
Well, that's exactly what I think you heard Rod Barnes talk about how hard he wanted his team to play. You can control a lot of things. You can make mistakes. He said, look, he told his guys today, you can make mistakes. Mark Madsen, I think, is a coach that will allow his players to make mistakes. But one thing he's not going to allow his team not to play hard at all times. And they do play hard.
Rod Barnes was very in front, as you mentioned. We're going to mess up some plays. Things won't always go right. Fight down low here. The blue jerseys come up with it. Good swing. And then Jones just losing the handle. Looks as if we'll stay here. Madsen claiming that went off of the leg of Jones. Shot clock to 14. Jones draws a double. Stevenson trying, fighting down low. Odanuru and a whistle.
Well, good offensive rebounds by Bakersfield. Sometimes when you get the ball on a second chance putback, you got to freeze your opponent, get him up in the air, draw one, and get the foul. And the worst thing you can do is what Big Fella did is he hurried himself a little bit. That'll change in time. I know Coach Barnes and his staff will work with Big Fella.
Bakersfield did bring in a lot of new faces, but 4 of 5 starters back. Coach Barnes feeling that was an important foundation to start with tonight. Guys that were familiar with the program. Try to take this crowd out of it a little bit, which they were able to do early on.
No, there's no question.
Still within shouting distance here as we near halftime.
Well, and this is a good game for Bakersfield. They're playing Cal on the road, and this is a good test for them. So I think it's good to develop your team, get them a look early and really see where you stand, what you need to work on. And Cal, too. I mean, they're playing a quality opponent in Cal State Bakersfield.
Under a minute now, first half, 12-point lead here for the Bears. That one just rattles out and will head the other way. So Cal now in front, their largest lead here at 12. Stojakovic got things started for the Bears. He's got 10. Blackshear as of late, 10 with a couple of rebounds and from 3. All net.
Well, I love the double screen. It's called a double drag, Greg, and they executed that to perfection. You can't go underneath that screen against a good shooter like Blackshear, and they did, and they got burned.
Finishing with a flourish here as we near halftime, a 15-point edge. Blackshear with the rebound. Shot clock is off. Bears can play for one. Madsen instructing his team to do exactly that.
That's really the luxury of having a veteran point guard. Younger player might have taken it and burned an early shot, but he's going to let this thing go down to the wire.
Blackshear here.
Take the last shot.
Omot with 3 from the corner. That's good. As time expires, the Bears drill it from deep.
Greg, if you could draw up the last second of a half, that's to perfection. Blackshear just kept it on the string, kept it onto his body, and just was able to find his teammate for the 3. That's just great execution of the shot clock going into halftime. Huge play.
Bears go on a 20-8 run to close out the first half. Blackshear, the facilitator. Omot capping things off with a triple. Strong start here for the home team. Night 1 in the ACC. I'll attack.
Well, if you're Rod Barnes in Bakersfield, you're telling your team, guys, this was a close game. We let it go in the last few minutes. So they got to get their mojo back. And if you're Cal, you're saying, hey, let's keep our feet on the gas. Let's start this half the way we finished it.
And we're underway here in the second half. Rod Barnes talked pregame about the idea. Yes, we've had success here in the past. We're not going to harp on it. It's obviously a very different team, but make the Bears question themselves so that we're not questioning ourselves.
No, that's true. I always had a tough time, Greg. When I was in the locker room, we had a 20-point lead almost. You know, sometimes you know your guys are kind of fat and happy, and you got to find a way to get them. You don't have an edge on them. So let's see if Mark Madsen can create that and get his guys to, stay with the same aggression they had.
Here's McGee, the 3rd. Shot clock to 3. They've got to go. And a long triple there off the mark for Kadar Waller. Blackshear so comfortable with the basketball. Just one half on one night, but everything you'd hope for in a veteran point guard to get things started here in his Cal career.
Well, he's from here in Oakland, too. It doesn't hurt, but it's his hometown, and he's making the most of his return.
Shot clock to 3. Ola Joseph Got a little off balance there, trying to turn the corner now. McGee the third, and hustling back, and excellent defense there from DJ Campbell.
Well, I love that as a defender, you just hustle the floor. You've already turned it over, but now you don't compound it. You come back and you get the ball back by just flat out hustling. Great play.
Contact here. Ola Joseph and Waller colliding. And they'll get Ola Joseph for an offensive foul.
Well, the dribble handoff has been very popular the last couple of years, but to execute it properly, you just can't, be moving and create a moving screen. And as it is, a handoff's like a screen, but you still have to create space and distance or come to a 2-foot stop and hand it off with 2 feet set.
That's the 4th personal foul on Ola Joseph. And we are just underway here in the second half, so he will head out, and PJ Omot returns. Omot had that triple to close out the first half. McGee the third, turn and fire, difficult shot, makes it look simple.
Well, they've got some guys that are capable. Cal's got to really step up their defense the way they finished the half, because Bakersfield can catch fire.
We saw that with Jones in the first half, and they find more offense here. Good looks to Soko. Mahdi doesn't miss from there.
Well, I like, again, I mentioned this before, the double drag screen, double ball screen, is tough because you always have a guy rolling. There's 2 guys, and they're very dangerous if they can get loose, and they got loose.
Couple of bigs battling here. Hook shot. Okereke showing off the skills down low.
I like his move. I think that's a great individual move. I think you're going to see Bakersfield go back to it.
It's a regular part of the rotation for CSUN now in year 2 with Bakersfield. Blackshear in trouble. Shot clock to 5 and a foul.
Well, how do you get dunks? You play with Jovan Blackshear, because if you can move without the basketball and you roll, you present yourself, get the ball up. But look at Blackshear, how he's able to get the ball to his player up high, his teammate. That's really an art. You don't want to throw the ball down at his feet or at his waist. Give it to him where he can catch it, see it, and take it straight up. Great play.
Has great scoring numbers from his time at Grand Canyon, but also enjoys being that facilitator, that pass-first point guard. We're seeing it here tonight.
He's unselfish, but he has the experience. He knows what it takes to advance, get to a tournament, win a game, and Cal would love to be in that position, and they got some guys that have been there. So good job by the Cal staff putting guys in position to help their squad and their program.
Sissoko battling for that ball, and just uses his height, towering over Waller.
And he kept the ball up. Again, just a great job. As a big man, you don't bring it down. He caught it, kept it over his head, and went straight back up.
Seven points now for Mahdi Sissoko. Shot clock to 10. McGee the third. That'll be a backcourt violation. Gives that one away.
Well, I like how Cal kept the ball on one side of the floor, Greg. Stojakovic down the screen, pushed it towards the baseline. Everybody closed out, just kept it smothered on one side. You see a lot of teams doing that, but that was a really good execution defensively. Good possession for the Bears.
11 turnovers now for Bakersfield, just 3 for the Cal Bears. That's a big storyline here as well. And of course, as we say that, Cal nearly throws it away. Blackshear working on Waller. Draws a crowd. There's the turnover. The announcer jinx in full effect. In transition, the pull-up is all net for Marvin McGee III.
Well, you see that Bakersfield's explosive. If you relax, you turn it over, they'll make you pay. Cal's got to get back to the way, playing the way they did, again, late in the first half and early this half.
Campbell tries to dunk to Sissoko. Finds Omot. That one was off target.
Well, remember, we just talked about it, Greg. You know, you're just concerned a little bit. You got a big lead at half. There's just a tendency. It's human nature. You're going to relax just a little bit. And I know Mark Matson, I know he'll talk to his guys about it if he hasn't already. Guys, let's not give Bakersfield a chance to just climb back in this game, because they're enthusiastic. They play emotionally, and they can get back in the game.
Made that adjustment. Blackshear's been so good dropping that ball inside. They were ready. On that last possession, they come up with the steal.
Very active with their hands. Very good lesson for defenders. You got to take away passing angles, take away your opponent's vision, Greg. That's what you have to do on the defensive end.
Waller, difficult attempt, fading, can't hit. A scrum, they come up with it. McGee the third.
It seems like Bakersfield's getting every loose ball now. They're scrambling. Don't look now. They're going to cut this to a single-digit lead. Credit to Bakersfield. They're scrapping.
The hustle plays we saw in the first half. Petritus all over the court for the Cal Bears. You're right. Bakersfield now. They're the aggressors. Campbell to respond. He does. DJ Campbell from straight away.
There's an equalizer. You need that just to stem the tide a little bit.
Bakersfield has found their stroke. They've made 4 of their last 5. McGee the third draws a crowd. 2 immovable objects running into each other there.
Yeah, a lot of contact.
And Sissoko.
A lot of contact. The officials said, but it's an NBA game. They let them play, both guys.
Campbell turns the corner, wave it off. An offensive foul. And we are at the under 16 timeout. Bakersfield showing some signs of life. They'll have it when we return.
With the official bank of UC Berkeley, we're committed to helping our customers make real financial progress. To learn more, visit Omot.com. To learn more about gold and the NIL of Cal Athletics, visit calbears.com/NIL to learn more.
Christmas Day for some that really enjoy college hoops. Here's a look at the ACC schedule. Year 1 in the ACC for Cal. They'll take on those Blue Bloods on the road at UNC, at Duke, and it is a gauntlet of a schedule as it always is in the ACC. No shortage of talented opponents.
Now you're gonna be playing every night, but how about they open up with Stanford in the opener in the ACC? How's that for irony?
Stojakovic going up against the card. Back to live action here. McGee the third. He had the hot hand, instead stripped after the follow. Omot now right down Main Street. That'll be a block.
Coach Barr's not happy with his squad not getting back in transition, but give Cal credit. They were off to the races. You make a mistake against Cal, you're going to have to get back. They've got some guys that can turn it from the defensive end to the offensive end in a hurry.
Good push from Bakersfield to open up this second half, outscoring Cal 10-7 thus far. Bears with a chance to eat into that here.
Well, we talked about Cal's bench, Greg, and we should probably give credit to Bakersfield because they've got 19 points off the bench. And so, this is a good game for them as they approach their season. But that's an impressive stat. They have turned it over more than they like to, and Cal's had a lot to do with that.
Second one is no good. Jamel Jones accounting for 11 of those 19 bench points for Bakersfield. He really kept them afloat in the first half. He handles here. And looks as if we'll get a kickball there. So they'll stay down this end.
Yeah, unique formation for Bakersfield. They're having 2 guys screen from different directions right at the hash mark here. But they're trying to get some guys. They worked on this in practice, getting some guys open, coming off screens.
Up and under, gets the bounce and the foul. It's Jamel Jones as advertised.
Well, that's what you have to do sometimes against pressure, Greg, and Cal's pressuring out, and they're not afraid to attack. They weren't able to get to the rim in the first half. Cal's bigs were out there swatting shots, but this time you see Bakersfield just splitting, and either you're going to have to take a charge and get position, or you're going to have to come up with an adjustment. If not a shot block, adjust the shot.
There's a look at Jones looking for the traditional three-point play, racked up a whole host of accolades as he knocks that down at the two-year college level. Two-year college player of the year, All-American honors, various regional awards, and as we mentioned, over 30 points per game last year. Had a couple of 50-point games in there. Blackshear stepping back. A race for the basketball, and it's Jones. Jones now upstairs, the lob, the right-hand dunk, no good. The follow effort, that's off the mark. Bakersfield pounding the glass here. And a whistle.
Again, give Bakersfield credit, Greg. They're pounding the glass. It was the other way around in the first half. Cal was just really dominating on the offensive glass. Now it's not only Bakersfield getting some foul calls, they're getting offensive rebounds, and they're getting to the foul line, which they did not do in the first half.
Odanuwu, he was right in the middle of it all there. Draws the foul, unable to hit the first. You described this sensation of you have the lead, but you can start to feel things slipping a bit. What's the conversation there on the bench to try and reclaim some of the dominance we saw from the Bears?
You go back to a common denominator, a common theme, and it's got to be defense. You don't worry about your offense. Coming up with a big lead at halftime, my message to the team is nothing to do with offense. It's about let's maintain the defense, which held. You held Bakersfield to a low number. Let's hold them back, but now it's Bakersfield getting their confidence back. So I know Coach Matz and the staff really value the defensive end. They're going to talk about that, but they've got to go out there and reestablish themselves on that side of the ball.
Odanuwu threatening a double-double, 7 points, 7 boards, and a giveaway. Here's Jones out of the pack. Jones, the dish, and a missed connection there. And one of those moments, perhaps be a bit more selfish.
Yeah, I was going to say, you go in and draw the foul. Cal already was beat in numbers, and Coach Barnes telling his team, come on guys, to attack, don't be scooped. That's a time, as you say, Greg, be selfish. You could have been coaching. You know your game.
Just for that one moment.
Yeah, no, that's good. I like it.
12 turnovers now for Bakersfield. Petritis back in. Dort has returned as well. This is that depth we talked about for the Cal Bears. In trouble along the baseline and steps out.
Well, that could have been a 5 count. That could have been, and it was a turnover. You really see the tide turning here a little bit with Bakersfield starting to be the aggressor, feeling their confidence now. And Cal really had it going into the locker room. They've got to go back and reestablish that. Cal played great basketball in that half. You couldn't play I couldn't script a better end of the first half now. They just got to go back out there and get that defensive aggression there.
That Omot triple to finish the first half. It was all clicking for the Bears. Bakersfield now on the comeback trail, trying to get back within single digits. Jumper from the outside. That comes up short. And then a turnover. Oh, they'll say a tip from Hardy. He vehemently disagrees, but C.J. Hardy called for the tip out.
Well, I don't think you can review this, but Cal might have caught a break on that one.
That was going to be an instant turnover there for the Bears. They luck out. So we fall under 13 minutes to play here in the second half. Wilkinson. Omot wheeling and dealing and hitting off the glass. Tough finish in traffic.
Well, it was tough. He went over the big fella from Egypt inside, and that's just a good look to finish that basket.
Started every game last year for North Dakota, averaged just under 17 a contest, did B.J. Omot. He's got 11 here in his first game with the Cal Bears. Well off the mark is Hardy. And now Omot out of the pack. Petritis scooping to the basket.
Well, that's the Bears now. They're getting their groove back a little bit. They're settling down. They're getting good looks at the basket.
Jones, excellent dump off, and the hammer down low for Odonuwu. But you're right, Cal starting to regain some of their mojo. They've hit 5 of their last 7, trying to slow down the Roadrunners. Wilkinson delivered that bump, and that seemed to take him out of the shot a little bit. And now a whistle against Petritis.
If you're Cal Bakersfield, you know, you don't mind a little Dunkin' Donuts yourself. And here it is, the pass inside, the finish, the flush, and they're back in this ball game. Longtime associate coach Louis Renault, who coached with me at a number of schools, and you know, he coached them. He had opportunities. He mentioned, we talked about him today, Abdul Rahim had opportunities to coach at many different schools. And as great a coach as he was, you know, Lou mentioned to me that he's just was even a better family guy, community guy. He's done so much for his community, and so, you know, he was going to be a superstar in this profession. So it's a big loss, and prayers out to his family and for the recovery.
South Florida doing a lot to honor the coach. There'll be the Love Wins Classic between USF and Kennesaw State, among other initiatives to pay tribute to someone gone far too soon. As we come back to live action here, 58-45, Cal leading Cal State Bakersfield, 11:31 to play in the second half. Ben Braun, Greg Meskel here with you from Haas Pavilion. Every time the Roadrunners make that push, Cal able to answer a little bit to slow things down.
Well, that's a good sign, and you know, keep in mind, you're playing a lot of new guys. You know, these guys haven't played a lot together. They've practiced together, but they've been on different teams, and now they're having to play. It's a different look.
Petritis stripped. Sissoko hustling right back to Petritis for the slam, just like they drew it up.
You know, it doesn't matter how it looks. It's how it ends, and they, you know, it's a dive on the floor. It's a loose ball. Little things make a difference, Greg, and you're going to be able to look at that on film and say, you know, who knows? That might have saved the day for Cal, just that they were able to maintain.
Stevenson in a tough spot, just trying to pull his way through the defense. A couple of bunnies in close, can't convert. Jones double clutch. That's pure.
Well, he is pure. I don't know what to say other than he's just knocking the daylights out of it down, and he's got his confidence. That's for darn sure.
A flat-out shooter. Cuts it down to 12 here. They've been knocking on the door of single digits, haven't been able to get back there just yet.
You know, we talked about little things, Greg, but there's a ball that was clearly about to go out of bounds, and you see the biggest player on the floor giving up his body, going down, saving the ball to a hustling Petritis. And so little things make a difference. You can build on that.
And it's funny, you look at the box score and the numbers for each as good help defense there from Bakersfield, forcing an air ball. But Sissoko, 7 points, 3 rebounds. Petritis, 6 points, 3 boards. But they have seemingly been everywhere.
No, and these are guys coming off the bench. What a luxury it is if you're Mark Matz and his staff to have these players, quality players with experience under their belt, coming off for you and able to play in a game. That's going to be a real positive for this team this season.
They have a real vision of building continuity with this roster. And at nights like this, it's where it starts for the Cal Bears. The dish down low. Looks as if Sissoko took a little shot to the mouth there.
You know, Greg,
with Odonuwu.
Yeah, you talked about the Cal Bears and, you know, just the opportunities, just getting games under their belt. The more they play together, the more confident they're going to get. And same goes for Coach Barnes' team at Bakersfield. The more they play, you know, they're going to get better. They're going to improve. But you see this around the country, not just with these two teams, but with so many new faces that there's no substitute for playing together. You got to get in some situations when you're down, you got to battle back. When you're up and you have to hold a lead, that's what Cal had to fight for. So once you play and you get these games under your belt and you experience that, you're a lot better the second time around.
Sissoko checks out. The training staff will give him a look as he came out holding his mouth there, battling with Odanuwu. Lee Dort will return. First one no good, second one here. Also a miss. Cal has had the edge from the free throw line, just more opportunities, more makes. 13 for 17. Roadrunners just 4 for 7, but Bears over the limit, so presumably Bakersfield will get some more chances here. Blackshear. Timer it to 7. They've got to go. Dort with 2. And bailed out with a whistle with 1 on the shot clock as Odanuwu called for the foul.
Yeah, I know Bakersfield's going to be sick if they go back and look at this with that short clock. It was going to be a tough finish for Dort. But again, Cal has the ability and the option to go inside. And so if you're getting pressured on the perimeter, you've got to throw it to the paint and see if you can get either a foul or a basket down low.
Stojakovic returns. Ten points, 4 rebounds, 20 minutes of work. His first night as a Cal Bear coming over from Stanford. Pressure is there from Marvin McGee III.
You know, one of the dilemmas sometimes you have as a coach and if you're coaching a game is you got a guy that's got a hot hand going, but you like to play a lot of players. Do you take that player out, or do you just keep him in, maybe hurt your rotation and let him get going? That's something you got to decide as a coach and program. Some coaches stick to their guns and just keep subbing.
Jones switching hands and draws the foul. There's a hot hand they want to keep in the game.
Well, and then with Bakersfield, there's no decision. You're keeping him in the game. But you know, again, you're going to play 11, 12 guys or 10 guys for sure, and you're getting in a rotation. You want to continue to do that. But oftentimes, you got a player that starts out like Stojakovic, started out so well. Now he gets in his rotation. Maybe he's not back in the same flow that he had early, and that's just a dilemma you have to live with sometimes. Or you change your format. And you just say, hey, we're going to change today, guys. We're not going to play as many guys because somebody is having a special game.
That's the 4th foul on DJ Campbell. I wonder if that calculation would change too. You get into conference play, everything gets a bit more magnified. Not that you're not win-focused here on night 1, but 2 teams trying to establish rotations. And
yeah, and you know, it's early enough that you want to get different looks. I think that's important. You're not trying to get somebody's points up, their stats up, their egos up. You know, the team. These are players. They're going to understand that. But you want to get yourself in a rhythm the best you can. But at some point, you know, they have enough capable guys that they could carry their teams if they had to.
Jones missing on both from the free throw line. Now Dort, good backdoor. Oh my! Big slam.
How about big fella Dort? Lee Dort backs his guy down. They come to him, and he just drops the dime for a dunk.
Beautiful dish, and then a foul on the other end.
I always thought big guys sometimes were the best passers to big guys because they know exactly where their teammates are, how to get them the ball. I've always believed that, and I still do. And Lee Dort made me a further believer in that. He found his teammates. You know, sometimes guards throw it lazily at their feet or somewhere else. Big guys are going to help the big guys. They're going to help feed each other. I mean, that's just always been a thought pattern for me.
Roadrunners have missed their last 4 free throws. Here's Corey Stevenson. Stops that drought.
And you think about it, they knocked those free throws down. It's like a 7-8 point game. So huge differential. Good news is they're getting to the line. Bad news is they gotta be a little more consistent.
Yeah, just 45% from the stripe. 1 of 2 there.
Yeah, they're going to look back at their opportunities, Greg, and they're going to be sick about how close they were to really nailing this thing and getting back all the way to this game.
It's one of those categories where if you're going to pull the upset, you've got to be excellent at the fundamentals, making the free throws, taking care of the basketball. That was a near steal for Tom Mark.
Very close call for the Bears because that was off to the races. Rod Barnes, all he could do was shake his head, you know, applaud his teammates or his team for coming up with the ball, but just not controlling it. Sometimes you got to grab it with 2 hands. It's that tip that I never liked. You know, offensive rebounding tip with 1 hand. Other than that, in every other aspect of the game, try to grab with 2.
Blackshear draws a crowd. What a pass! Dort, the hammer!
So much for my theory of big-to-big passing. There's a little guy that knows how to find his big dog. Great
Blackshear
look.
can dish to any height.
No, and you know, he threw the ball right at Lee Dart's in his chest. That's what you throw it to big guys. You don't allow them to have to reach down. Great look.
And then dribbling off the foot, Stevenson. Timeout. It's the Dort Show. Upstairs to Omot, and then Blackshear returns the favor. Lee won't miss from inside.
And you look like Mark Manson, you play like Mark Manson. I mean, this is bad dog basketball. Unfortunately, I know it very well. Been on the other end of his play, and he's inspired his team and his coaching staff just to look at this, get on the floor, keep the ball alive, and make a huge play. That's just a momentum changer, and get your bench, your crowd, everybody going. Mark Manson's instilled that kind of basketball all the way through his career, from Stanford to the Lakers. And, you know, short maybe a few dances, I think he's been stellar. But, you know, he's a great guy. If you get to know Mark, what you see is what you get. He's legitimate. There's no phoniness to Mark Manson. He's the same guy every time you play. But he's a sportsman. But between the lines, he's a killer.
He's never going to live down those parade dances, is he?
Well, no, you got to get him on him about something, you know.
Blackshear. Dort. And then draws the foul.
But you sometimes you wonder, does your coach take on, does your team take on the personality of the coach? And in Rod Barnes, he's fiery, and his team can come out and play aggressively. And Mark Manson, same way. It's hard not to have that enthusiasm. As tough as he was, I think maybe his greatest quality to me, Greg, is his enthusiasm, his passion. I don't know if anybody had more passion for the game than watching Mark Manson and playing against him as a coach.
And that excitement, you talk to him about this team, and every guy that he talks about leaves you feeling that any one of those guys could score 50 points that night.
I mean, if he's selling something, I'm buying it. But he's personal, and he's legitimate. There's no phoniness to it. And his coaching staff done the same, very much the same way. And his team, I think, reflects that type of demeanor.
And we have to, of course, extend our well wishes to the Madsen family. His wife Hannah, pregnant due any moment here with their 5th child, a baby boy. So hope she's feeling well, the family doing well, and you can be sure that's on Coach's mind in addition to opening night.
No question. Mark's a great family man, and that's important.
A takeaway here from Campbell. Around the back, everything but the finish, and he's fouled.
Kind of wish Mark had all those kids when I was coaching against him. Maybe he would have been a little more tired, and with the kids. But we got Jovan Blackshear with his family, and he's got kids now, and kids. I've had players that had children, and it's tough. I still don't know how coaches go through this. It's tough to be a dad, be a coach, be your surrogate to all the players on your team, and now you have your own family. A lot's asked of coaches, and same, we talked to Rod Barnes and I talked about that, talked about his kids, his grandkids. It's tough today to wear all those hats.
There's no doubt.
Great.
Rod Barnes has coached his sons.
Absolutely.
Has one on his staff right now.
Yeah.
His son Brandon, part of the Bakersfield staff. Under 7 to play here in the second half.
Well, both coaches asked me how my family's doing, how my kids were doing. I appreciated that. It takes a family guy to appreciate another family guy.
Stevenson double clutch, difficult finish in traffic.
I thought there was some contact there. Officials really letting him play now. Must be late for them. I don't know. Let's see. Little contact, not enough to call foul. Officials, as usual, Greg, get it right. When I coached, they got it wrong all the time. But you know, you're biased when you're coaching. Believe me, you want every call, and a block looks like a charge looks like a block. So you get here where I've been sitting, and you got the monitor. They're pretty darn accurate.
A lot of these plays, right? So bang bang, so quick, more often than not. And now with video review chances
and
to
three
get it
officials,
right.
yeah. Used to be there was two, now the third overrules, and the video. You just go right to the monitor and you get it right. Fans sometimes don't like it, but I think it's good for the game. It gets the right call, and you want the right call.
There is that right balance of it. Don't want to look at every single thing,
right,
but it can correct some egregious errors that are just hard to call in the moment. It's happening so quickly.
Well, if you're Cal now, you got this lead again. Let's see if lesson learned. If Cal can stay in their stance, get some stops, and put this game away, and not allow the Roadrunners to come back in this game as they did early in the second half.
Here's Marvin McGee, the third, joined now by his younger brother, Marvin McGee, the fourth. They have the same name, McGee, the third, pulling. Coach Rod Barnes told us, how do they tell them apart? Marvin McGee, the third, they call him red. Marvin McGee, the fourth, they call him blue. So that's how they delineate amongst the team. Rod Barnes says, I call the older Marvin, and I call the younger Marvin blue.
Pretty clever. I like that.
He earned the right to be Marvin. I like the team longer.
No, that's pretty clever, Greg. I got to give Coach credit on that one. Well, here's what you do when you're down. You don't settle, and I like that the Roadrunners are just attacking the rim, trying to get to the foul line. And, you can chip away by shooting free throws. Sometimes you try to shoot yourself back in the game. You miss threes, and now the game's over. So I like this Roadrunner team. I really do, Greg. They're going up against a really strong and deep Cal team, but I think the Big West is going to have to look out.
10 team fouls now for Cal, so free throws the rest of the way here. 2, of course, for Cal State Bakersfield. That had to be part of the conversation at the half, too. Roadrunners had only 5 free throws into intermission. They've certainly made more of a concerted effort to get chances.
Now, I told you could coach. Now I know you could, because Greg, you're right, spot on. That's exactly what you're telling your team, and they've carried it out. They've carried that mission out for Coach Barnes, and they're just within striking distance again of getting this down to a single-digit lead. There you go.
Tipped away. It'll stay with the Bears.
I don't think it was tipped, was it?
Sorry, they say.
Yep, it was.
Yeah, you're right.
Good eyes. But I like the pressure. They're making Cal a little uncomfortable. And this is what Mark Manson and his staff was practicing a lot yesterday. They were playing against the pressure, because that's what Rod Barnes' teams will do. They will pressure you. Full court.
And this is a tremendous tune-up for Big West play. As you highlighted, for the Roadrunners, they get a great chance here to go up against a really talented Cal team. Both rosters, a lot of changes. I don't think the coaches, the media knew what to make of either one of these teams. They were both picked towards the bottom of their preseason polls. Roadrunners 9th in the Big West, Cal 16th in the ACC.
Well, those are the most dangerous teams to play against. I hated playing teams that were picked down, because you always know those teams play with an edge. I know when my teams were picked down, and they are picked lower than what we thought, maybe it was an advantage. It was really an incentive for us. Especially on the Cal side of things. So many new pieces. We highlighted at the top of the show 11 scholarship newcomers, 10 of those from the transfer portal. How do you even know what to expect as an opposing coach? Year 1 in the ACC for Cal. So the Bears have a big chance to surprise a lot of people. I think they will. I know it's early, but they've got depth. When you have depth, you got a chance. You really do. When you don't have a lot of buttons to push, you don't have a lot of chances.
Jones. You can imagine he'll be a real problem in the Big West. Stojakovic. And draws a foul.
You can see how much of a problem he is for opposing teams, because at his size, if you don't crowd him, he'll knock down shots. If you crowd him, he's long, he's sinewy, can get to the basket, draw fouls, and he's a problem. So he's added that element to his game. He's worked awfully hard on his coaching staff. You've seen him spend time at practice just working on him, trying to get his shot off and get to the rim and go over people, and he's doing it.
First free throw good for Stojakovic. Such a giant recruit coming out of Jesuit from Carmichael, California. 5-star recruit, McDonald's All-American. At Stanford last year, 7.8 points per game, 3.4 rebounds. Expectations sky high. And now a chance for him to try and build on that here with the Bears.
That was a tough situation for him in Stanford last year. You know, there's obviously a lot of pressure. I think the coaching staff is playing under. Coach has a good coach, and you know, admittedly, just really, I think there was a lot of pressure there. And so sometimes the players feel the pressure of the coaches, and I think that's kind of what happened.
A foul on Omot as Corey Stevenson was trying to maintain control, and again over the limit, so 2 free throws coming here for Stevenson.
Now you mentioned something earlier, and again I had to think about this, Greg. You know, back in the day, would a Cal player transfer to Stanford or Stanford back to Cal? I don't know that that's happened very often, if at all. And so now the irony again is going in the ACC, that's happened in year one. So good opportunity for Andrej Stojakovic to step his career, take it to another level.
Such a heated rivalry, right? Cal, Stanford. And then you recall some of the older rules to transfer within your conference.
That's it.
Sit out a couple of years sometimes.
Yeah, not just one, sometimes 2. So things have changed, there's no doubt. None of the rules have been rewritten in a lot of ways. But I like what Mark Manson has said about it. He's talked a lot about it. We'll come back to that. But, you know, he's actually embraced it. And that's what you have to do. You have to embrace the way the game is.
Timeout on the floor. Bears looking in good position to take the win on opening night.
If you're Bakersfield, you feel good about your opportunities. If you're Cal, you like that you've built up leads. Now they're going to have to work on holding them.
Look there at Stojakovic. We were talking before the break about the idea of an intra-conference transfer, how taboo this would have been years ago. In the ACC this year, 14 intra-conference transfers. Guys going from Clemson to Boston College, Virginia Tech to Miami. The list goes on. So Stojakovic is not alone.
No, and that's a great stat. Good pull on that. I don't give somebody credit to find that stat. That's an amazing stat. No way I knew that. And now our fans are educated.
And there's a 3-ball for Corey Stevenson in his second year with the Roadrunners.
This Roadrunner team, it continues to impress. They just, as much as Cal you think is going to get up on them, they don't quit.
Blackshear. Sissoko didn't realize he had a little opening there at the bucket on that rebound, but recirculates the basketball here.
And Mark Manson wants his team to execute a little bit now. Don't be in a hurry. Don't quick shoot it.
Clock to 5. Sky-high floater. Sissoko in a battle with Stevenson, a tie-up, and the jump ball will keep things down here. But the hustle there from Corey Stevenson. Rod Barnes praising the junior, the JC transfer from Northeast Mississippi. Said he's made the biggest jump from last year. His scoring, his leadership, these tangibles, intangibles, the things they need.
That's huge.
Stojakovic at the horn. Sissoko continues to fight. Second time he's taken a shot to the face here.
That's tough. That's, I think, was inadvertent.
The third just caught him there with the right, trying to reach in and poke that ball away.
Well, that was a right. That was almost a right cross. It's, you know, I mean, he's a tough kid, but you're not ready for it. Then officials are really they're taught to really protect players, especially anything to the head area, and they generally call that if they see it.
You've seen that over the last several seasons. Anything head and neck, and you see the fouls get upgraded, fouls called immediately.
Well, they're doing it in football now. They call it targeting, and I like it. I really believe that if you make a concerted effort to tackle, but it's directed at the helmet, the head, that can be lethal. There's just too much that can go wrong. Well, Cal's pushing it out again. They're just trying to push this lead out.
There's no doubt, opening night, both sides will look at things to correct for the next one. Here's Campbell. On Brown the finish.
Well, he's been on the end of some big plays for Cal. When they were struggling, he's given them a couple of lifts.
And credit DJ Campbell, he's gone a long way with 4 fouls. They've kept him in the ball game. He's been carrying 4 fouls. He's played smart defensively as we hit the under 4 time.
And those things can go either way, and sometimes it motivates you or sometimes puts pressure on you. You don't know what's going to happen, but we'll find out.
Good kick here, and the triple is there for Jones.
I like Rod Barnes' team coming out of timeouts. They've been pretty good. Even if they haven't scored, they've executed pretty darn well. And there's no exception there. They did a nice job.
And now the takeaway from Jones. Tries to give it off once again. The tip out will stay here. Jamel Jones, by the way, 20 points on 8 of 14 shooting, 31 minutes of play, had 5 boards, 3 assists, a little bit of everything. Stellar
performance. But there again, you got to take that up. You can't try to dish that off. Take it up for the foul or the basket. Double bonus.
McGee now. This is the third. On his way to the bucket and draws the foul, a.k.a. red. And he has free throws on tap. The foul looks to be against Omot.
Well, again, that's what I was saying about the previous play. If you can get to the basket, you can draw fouls, stop the clock, plenty of basketball left, and get this thing to a double, from a double digit, single digit, you're in business.
Here's McGee, the third second on this team scoring a year ago. And he is good on the free throw. That's been a little bit of an Achilles heel tonight for Cal State Bakersfield. Sort of cleaning it up here as we go. Still shy of 60%, 52.9, 9 of 17. Here's the next. And so a couple in a row there.
Well, interesting. Cal's going to a 3-guard lineup now. They're concerned a little bit about protecting this lead and not turning it over. They're going to put some ball handlers in the game. Good move by Coach Madsen.
That last foul, our 42nd foul of the night, so a touch foul heavy. Under 3 to play. Christian Tucker returning. Blackshear now with 6. Right through the defense.
No pressure, no pressure, calm as a cucumber. Or cool, either one.
Both work.
I think that's what I meant, but I think you got the message. He really, no panic in Blackshear when he plays. He's so confident with the basketball.
Just always under control. Jones, meanwhile, floating, cannot hit, but the follow's there for Stevenson. Roadrunners looking to make one last push here. And Rod Barnes will call for time. 75-64. Cal State Bakersfield, well, they led way back in the first half by 1, 8-7. They've been chasing the game since. Tough to slow down a guy like this.
Well, he's so good with either hand.
A all-star performer at Grand Canyon. Was the WAC preseason player of the year in the year that he got hurt. Worked his way back last season. You know how that goes, though. Sometimes a big injury, it takes you more than a season. Even if you play, maybe you don't feel like yourself. And now back here, another year removed from that injury.
Well, but he took his team to the tournament and he took his team to the next round. I mean, they didn't just get there. They won, and that's not easy because they're playing against teams that were seeded a lot higher, a lot better than they.
One of the fun stories from last year's big dance.
Absolutely.
Under 2 to play here. Stojakovic. And he'll draw a foul. When in doubt, put your head down, go to the bucket.
Well, Cal can do that. They've got guys that can attack the rim, and that's a good way, again, if you're up and maybe you're struggling to get some good looks, maybe you do attack and you do get to the line and increase your lead.
Stojakovic now 6 for 6 from the line, and we told you all about the potential depth on this Cal team. The numbers bear it out tonight. 4 guys in double figures. Stojakovic, Campbell, Blackshear, along with Omot.
But this tells you something, Greg, because there's under 2 to play, and Cal's got their starters in the game. They know this game is far from over, so they've gone back to their original 5, and and hoping that they can put this game away for them.
And again, it's such a new group. They have to experience finishing together.
Well, you got to play your team, let them get some reps and some time.
1:40 to play. And that jumper is all net for Corey Stevenson. You talked to the Cal staff. What'd you do over the summer? What team building things? They were on the court. That's what they did.
Yeah,
they built as a team playing basketball. Spent some time at Coach Madsen's house. They needed time together. Stojakovic, the crossover down the lane. Can't hit. And the rebound is there. Right on the edge was Marvin McGee, the fourth, to hang on. On the other end, knocks down the three. Little D and three.
Wow, what a great comeback from the Roadrunners. I mean, look what they've done, Greg. They've scored in transition. They've gotten the ball out, found open spots. You got to either get a home and home or play 2 for 1 sometimes, and that's hard to do. But you know, scheduling's hard for mid-majors. It's always been hard. I struggled for years trying to get players. We'd play and beat some teams, Big Ten teams. We'd never play them again.
That was it?
That was it.
They lost your number.
I remember that distinctly. Like, good luck. That you know, you beat us, we'll never play you again. And
who's calling? Coach Braun, hang up the phone. We're not doing that again.
No, it happened. We beat like 5, and went to Eastern Michigan. We beat like 4 or 5 Big Ten schools, and then we never got those invites after that. We didn't play them again.
Well, you mentioned a free throw shooting contest.
Well, that's smart, because what I like about, if you're the Roadrunners, you're Bakersfield, you don't let the clock run. You stop it and you see what happens. You put, you know, some guys that might be question marks at the line, see if they can knock them down.
Sissoko 3 for 5 so far tonight. Pays off.
Well, and it's early in the season. Guys aren't going to be in their rhythm as much. They're not going to be able to shoot it as well when they're tired, because maybe this conditioning is a little bit not where you want it to be this time of year.
Gets 1 of 2. It's at 78-69, coming up on 1 minute left. Here's Jones. Thought he might pull from 3. Instead, he'll pull from the foul line. Just an absolute assassin with the basketball.
You know, you give him just an angle. Any angle you get, he's going to make you pay. And now Mark Madsen, I think that's a really good timeout for Mark Madsen. You say, well, this game is this.
I was thinking the same thing. Certainly, it'd have been smoother for everyone on the Cal side to win this one going away, but you get a chance to experience something you can't possibly replicate.
Late games, they practice this. They say, hey, we're up 2, we're up 6 with 2 minutes to play. Now what do? If you're a coach, you got to practice these situations.
Here's some full court pressure from Bakersfield, and a stumble and a whistle. They'll get the Roadrunners for a foul.
Well, very fortunate there. I mean, obviously, officials have a foul call, but you know, they turn that over and they score. It's a 2-possession game, Greg, and you know, again though, Cal's got to play the free throw game. They've got to knock down free throws, because there's still just under a minute to play. Plenty of possessions left.
I saw Rod Barnes smiling. He knows that was just a couple of degrees away from a ball out of bounds and going the other way.
They say it's a game of inches. It is.
And now Tucker to the line. His first free throws of the night.
Well, he's steady. You know, you talk about a guy in Christian Tucker that shot it at just under 90 last year, 87%. Watched him play a ton last year. Late game situations, the ball was in his hands, and he was going to make you pay. But
he was the best in the business in the AAC with that free throw percentage, 87.5 last year. So you want him in these scenarios. He feels real good about it.
Well, he came in and played to play his role, and what a luxury again it is to have a guy that can shoot almost 90 for late game situations.
Jones. They don't go away.
Now they're still in it. They just are chipping and chipping and chipping. Again, Cal's going to have to A, protect the ball, and B, knock down free throws. Don't turn it over.
Pressure's on again into Omot. Draws a crowd. Now looking to pressure Stojakovic, and he's fouled, and free throws coming here.
Well, that's, again, good play. But, you know, believe it or not, last year, really the Achilles heel for Andre was free throw shooting. He only was a little above 50%, as a free throw shooter. If I'm not mistaken, he struggled from the line for whatever reason.
That's some of the pressure we talked about. Fans can't help but think about his dad, who is just a walking bucket. He's a bit of a different player, an excellent shooter, carving his own path.
And he was a freshman last year. You got to, you know, freshmen are freshmen. They're going to do freshman things, but you can see his confidence level now is skyrocketing. He feels comfortable in his own shoes. You know, he's not his dad. He doesn't need to be. Not many people are, you know, his dad. But he's a darn good basketball player on his own, and he's got a chance to carve out his own future.
So Cal again with a fairly comfortable cushion, but Bakersfield, a rare miscue late here. They had been chipping away and got their wires crossed there as Jones. Well, it's my fault.
And you see Rod Barnes not shooing his guys out. He said, look, you're going to make mistakes. Look, I do. But just come back and play hard. Just bounce back. And so, I said this earlier in the game, if you're Cal State Bakersfield, you got a lot you can take from this game. And by the same token, if you're Cal, you can take this game and break it up into segments or chapters and learn from it.
The depth on display for the Cal Bears, as advertised, getting so many folks involved. Blackshear good on the first. 10 guys getting at least 10 minutes in this one for the Bears.
Well, 4 guys on the floor, call it 5, that have played, you know, Division I. They've all played at another school's high level.
Keep in mind, a guy like Joshua Olajoseph started but got the fouls early. Only ended up playing 10 minutes. They give the foul. And more free throws coming. Fans here were hoping for a breakaway or at least the clock to run out. They get neither.
Well, with daylight, with fallback time going back, and, you know, 2 days ago was midnight here. How do you like my logic? It's 12:15, so, but students don't get tired, do they, Greg?
No, not at all. Remember, this is the same group of folks that was up in the middle of the night for College Game Day.
Oh, that was quite an atmosphere, wasn't it?
What a scene.
Oh, my goodness. Great to see the Bears get College Game Day and played a great game.
That was one of the best environments for College Game Day I think anyone has seen in a long, long time. The Calgorithm was alive and well on that day.
Yeah, and there'll be other days coming ahead with Justin Wilcox coaching. I think they've been in some big-time games this year, and had a big win last week, bye week, so we'll see what happens, but long season.
Shot clock is off. Last looks here for Bakersfield. The Bears have held off the Roadrunners. Stojakovic with the rebound, and it looks as if Rod Barnes will call off the Dogs here. As Stojakovic brings it across, night one in the ACC for the Bears' success as they defeat Cal State Bakersfield 86-73 to open up the 24-25 campaign 1-0. They get just about everyone involved. 10 players, at least 10 minutes. Blackshear, 17 points to lead the charge. Stojakovic with 16. Omot, 13. Campbell, 12. A well-balanced diet.
Well, you said it, Greg. That's a great point. You know, it's a good win. Why? Because it's a win. It's your opener, too, because everybody's involved. A lot of guys saw action, and I think you can take a lot of positives for that. If 10, 11 guys contributing, you can move forward and build from this.
Bright spots for Bakersfield. Jamel Jones, 22 to lead their charge. Not enough. The Bears do the job at home. Once again, our final score, 86-73 Cal. Set your calendar. Join us Thursday at 7 p.m. when the Golden Bears take on the Cal Poly Mustangs right here at Haas Pavilion on the ACC Network.